Yes, there is a mathematical formula to calculate stopping power, and we get the result in foot-pounds, right? It's the energy transfer to the target. But what is left out, right, is the shape of the projectile, or the shape in which the projectile expands to, because those factors are critical in the transference of energy. Um, in my research, there are, for one, if we're looking at what is momentum, it's mass times velocity. So mass and velocity are two critical components in calculating the energy, but like I already mentioned, the shape of the projectile is also critical in the energy transfer. So there's not just the foot pounds. There's multiple other what's it called, formulas to calculate theoretical energy or potential energy transfer to a target. One of the methods I thought for analyzing ballistics better is Hornady's index of terminal standards. It's mass squared times velocity times diameter squared. Right. And then Hornady compiled a list of various loads and calibers and then gave the results of that. And it takes into account more of those parameters that are essential in calculating the actual true felt energy of the target. Okay, the next question. I would say I would agree with some of the formulas, and the other formulas, no. The formulas that take into account the parameters that I mentioned that were essential for the most accurate solution, then yes, I would say that they're reliable formulas, although you're going to get a different scale, right? A different number, so they're not necessarily directly comparable. As long as the mathematical equation takes into account the various factors and proportionally inputs them, then the results will be credible. Finally, I would say modern ballistic science has altered the way in which we can measure energy. We can, for one, with high speed cameras, we can look at targets, and especially the gels, like the ballistics gel, and we can see the rate at which the bullet slows down. We can see exactly where it expanded. We can see the size that the block expanded to because it's elastic, so it's going to return to its initial mold. But when we can see through the slow motion the size that the wound cavity got to, we can get a more accurate representation. We can more accurately map and see the destructive force. Measuring speeds, right, with chronographs, and we can measure at various angles or various distances. And even with the targetry that we have available, we have ballistics and gel dummies that highly mimic to a high degree of accuracy a human torso or a human head. So we can replicate ballistic shots without actually having to injure people or, yeah. It's a lot safer and a lot better off for everybody.